Welcome, welcome, welcome. You are listening to Brawls, Panties, and Sports. We had a First Lady of Sports Talk, the one and only Cheryl Smith, and Goddess Kelli, the Diva of Sports Debate. I am spit-faced. They let me back in on the show. I had to bribe old Grumpy and stuff and get him a Subway sandwich to get permission to be on the show. Now, check out the music this week on Shout Out. We are featuring performances from our guests. That's right, we got a guest. We got Noah Archangel out of H-Town via St. Louis, Missouri. Will he find his shining star, get the cold feel of the mute button? I hope he don't get the cold feel of the mute button, especially being a guest and stuff, and we ain't paying his ass. I mean, but it's time. Noah Archangel, let me tell you. Welcome to the show, Noah.
Peace, peace, peace. Glad to be here.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Pretty good looking, good looking brother too. He got some nice cologne on and stuff. I might have to have his ass stay outside the studio because I like holding the ladies to myself. But speaking of ladies, it looks like it's time for some funny ladies to get our giggle on producer rolling.
I've been traveling like so much. I just got back from Birmingham, Alabama. Yeah, I've always wanted to go there because there's a very famous civil rights museum in the middle of town. So I was really excited to go, and I went to get my ticket at the counter, and the woman at the counter looks at me, and she goes, "Now you cannot take no pictures in here. I know you people, you like to take you some pictures." I don't like it when it gets racial. It gets racial sometimes. I wrote a book and I went on this radio show to promote it. And they're like, "Margaret, we love the book, but tell us, what was it like to make Charlie's Angels?" No, I'm the one from Grey's Anatomy.
All right, I'm glad we got our giggle on, but you know what? First Lady, we're ready for What You Saying.
Each week, we try to figure out what is going on in the sports world. Not the plays of the week, more like the players of the week. Are they trying to tell us something? So we ask, what you saying? Fly, little birdie, fly. Time keeps on slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. So I want to fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let the spirit carry me. I want to fly right into the future. The little birdies known as the New York Football Giants wish they could fly far, far away from an embarrassing beatdown on Monday Night Football by the Detroit Lions. You have a two-time Super Bowl MVP quarterback playing with a line that couldn't block a high school team. The coach, Bob McAdoo, blames Eli Manning for not calling a timeout at a critical point in the game. What's up with that? This week, they go on the road to Philadelphia, and we know Goddess Kelli is happy about that. Is someone about to eat a lot of cheesesteak? And I'm not talking about their left tackle. Lizzie Vaughn, Maria Sharapova, Linda Kahn, and the Steve Miller Band are asking, what you saying? Well, I guess they're getting ready to get a beatdown from the Eagles. I mean, the Giants could possibly be 0-3. Wow, who would have thought this early in the season that the Giants would be possibly 0-3? Coach McAdoo, he was right for calling Eli out because that play was sloppy, and the incident was really a bad situation for the Giants. And the one thing, though, I have to say, he could have mentioned some other players, too, this besides Eli. He needed to call out Brandon Marshall, who continues, and I mean continues, to drop passes. I mean, this is crazy. He couldn't even catch a, well, let me say, I was going to say he couldn't even catch a marijuana pass if somebody gave it to him. But anyway, he's just terrible. I don't know why. He makes some great plays, and then he makes some bad plays. And, of course, where everybody's been talking about, Eric Flowers, the rookie, he has just been horrible. He really has not provided the defense they needed. And how can we talk about that offensive line? Poor Eli. He's been sacked already 8 times in 2 games. He got sacked 5 times in the game against the Lions. 5 times. I mean, McAdoo needs to talk about that offensive line. It's sad. I mean, Eli is a problem. I'm not saying Eli is great now. You know, Eli hasn't been great for a couple of years. But it's all about that offensive line. And not only that, they don't even have a rushing game. Do you know they only rushed for 97 yards in 2 games? They actually had the nerve to have, I think it was like 30-something yards or 30-something in the first game. I mean, really, what is going on with the Giants? Their offense is really lackluster. And, hey, Bob McAdoo, he's calling the plays. And he said it might be a time to change. He might have to change calling the plays and giving it up. So I don't know what's going on with the Giants there. I mean, what's up with them? They're in trouble. That's all I can say. They are in trouble with a capital T. And if they don't find a replacement for Eli real soon, and I don't mean it this year, but they need to look into the future because Eli is definitely deteriorating. Goddess Kelli, I don't know. This is something, I know you are going to be thankful that they're going to be coming to Philadelphia next week. So what do you think about them?
Well, first of all, I don't like to use the words "I told you so," but I'm going to say it. I told you so. Going into this season, everyone praised the New York Football Giants, saying that they were going to be the team to beat in the NFC East. And what happened? My Philadelphia Eagles are slowly flying up those rankings, and this Sunday is going to be no exception. We are going to, I don't know if Eli is going to be eating some cheesesteak, but he sure as hell is going to be eating some turf because we are going to continue to sack him. We have got one of the best front sevens in football in Philadelphia, and we are Manning. And you know what? Eli Manning can't do anything about it. He doesn't have an offensive line to speak of. He doesn't have a run game to try and get some pressure off. All he can do is drop back, hope that he finds a tiny little itty-bitty pocket of protection, and then try and fire something off to his receivers. But you know what? We're going to be ready, and we are going to be gunning for him. Now, that being said, I kind of almost feel bad for Eli. I mean, I've never liked the kid. I haven't liked him ever since the draft day where he's all like, oh my gosh, I can't go play for the San Diego Chargers. I might get hurt. Well, you know what? You're getting hurt now because you got a team that's not protecting you. The same thing that you were afraid of back when you were a little whiny kid getting drafted. But it's sad because the team really isn't doing anything to protect him. McAdoo, you know, came under Coughlin, was Coughlin's kind of protege, and then they fired Coughlin to give McAdoo the head coaching job, and he's just doing nothing to protect his best asset, which is his quarterback. Everybody knows that the Giants have got some fantastic receivers. Picking up Brandon Marshall, even though he hasn't done anything so far this year, it was a good move for him. Of course, they've also got Odell Beckham, who did have that injury going against him, but he should be playing tomorrow. And they've got Sterling, the kid in his second year, who's been pretty fantastic. But it doesn't mean anything if Eli can't get those balls off, and if he can't get them off accurately. And you know what, Eli? I know a little bit of something about getting balls off. You just got to be a man. You got to stand there, and you got to take it, okay? So get your act together, but not this week because you're coming to Philadelphia, and Philadelphia always plays lights out against the Giants. I hope that we're going to be wearing our blackout jerseys because every time we do, we take some giant slaying butt and we kill them, and that's what's going to happen. You heard it here first.
Okay, Goddess Kelli. You talking about Brandon Marshall. I don't know. Brandon Marshall hasn't been good for a long time. But anyway, Noah Archangel, can you please speak on this? What do you think about Eli Manning?
You know, Eli was one of the best men, but he, like you said, deteriorating. I definitely agree with you there. You know, so they're going to have to start looking for someone to replace him as well. But it's a team effort. You know what I mean? So I don't like to put everything on one guy, but, I mean, he is the leader. You know what I mean? But like you said, Brandon Marshall's got to catch. You know, the other players got to block. They got to hit. I mean, it's a team effort, man. But they're just not looking good altogether. Like you see, even the coach, it's just a bad outfit.
Okay.
I'm gonna say something, Noah, talking about a bad outfit. Did you see that slick back hairstyle? Like he think he Pat Riley or something, and he ain't one of that. You know, Pat Riley could get away. I mean, I look at Pat Riley, I'm going, well, dog, but what can I say? He got rings. He can wear his hair slick. Actually, I'd like to see Pat Riley in a mohawk. But that's a different kind of subject there. You know, can you imagine Pat Riley with a mohawk? It might be kind of cool with his old ass, a little gray hair streak and stuff going through there. But, you know, he got a different kind of situation there. But I will say that the reason that we are seeing Eli deteriorate because they let this ass get hit all the time. You'd be deteriorating too if you got hit as much as Eli getting hit. But I do not think that Eli's skills have really deteriorated that way. I think Eli is just in shock. You know, I think Eli feel like he done went through the Vietnam War or something. Like, hey, wait, is this the Tet Offensive or something? You know, y'all that need to I'm wondering if Eli needs to check the wallets of the general manager and the people picking the personnel to play around him because they just spent a fortune on the defense. And they done dropped a couple of little coins on the offensive line. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Giants management. This is one of the rare times I'm going to say something about the Dallas Cowboys.
Uh-oh.
The Dallas Cowboys, after they stopped Daddy from picking the players, the son went and started picking a big old offensive line. Now, that offensive line got his ass whooped against Denver, but that's still a bad offensive line. Take a hint. Big boys up front, protect your quarterback. That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
That's all you can say. Okay, well, I mean, Eli, he's going to be another Tony Romo. But the good thing about it, he's strong and he doesn't get as injured as Tony Romo. But if he continues with that offensive line, he could develop into a Tony Romo. Okay. All right. Got it, Kelli. Take us away.
Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years, rocking my peers and putting suckers in fear, making the tears rain down like a monsoon. Listen to the bass go boom. Explosion, overpowering. Over the competition, I'm towering. Wrecking shop when I drop these lyrics that'll make you call the cops. Don't you dare stare, you better move. Don't ever compare me to the rest. That'll all get sliced and diced. Competition paying the price. I'm gonna knock you out. Mama said knock you out. We are not talking about Stacey Alistair, Catherine Carter, or Danica Patrick. We are talking about the knockout punch the Denver Broncos landed on the Dallas Cowboys. Let's see Zeke, who never lacks effort when it comes to women's breasts, was too frustrated to at least look like he was hustling during an interception return. Even Dak ran after the guy. Have defenses figured out Dak Prescott? Is this the normal sophomore slump? The Broncos defense is proving they are elite. They have exposed the Cowboys to the rest of the NFL. Should Cowboys fans start to worry? Should Broncos fans start saving up for playoff tickets? By the way, quarterbacks not named Dak looked awful darn good. Is he legit? Jenny Buss, Pat Summitt, the Williams sisters are asking, what you saying? And you know what? This is another one where I don't necessarily want to say I told you so, but I called this one too. I said that the NFL is going to figure out what was going on with Dak and Zeke from last season, make themselves fix their plays accordingly and come after those guys and expose them, and that is what has happened. Whether a lot of it has to do with the pressure that's been on Ezekiel Elliott, with the court case, the looming suspension, that kind of thing, I don't know. They've still got that offensive line intact that caused them to be so successful last season, but yet they're not able to get anything done this year. Dak looks not like an elite quarterback like what he looks like last year. This year, he's starting to look like a rookie, even though it is his second year. So the Dallas Cowboys definitely need to get something together if they have any hope of finishing this season with any kind of good winning record. So whether or not it needs to be the coaches getting in there and trying to rally these guys to play a little bit better, I don't know. But definitely something bad is going on in Dallas. First Lady, what are you saying?
Obviously, that was probably Dak's worst game as a pro. I mean, the Denver Broncos defense is really good, and they'll stop most elite quarterbacks. You know, Tom Brady doesn't play well against Denver's defense. So I just think it was the defense of Denver that really stopped Dak, and I'm not going to really get to the point of saying that they've figured Dak out, because if most of the NFL teams' defense plays like the Broncos, then they're going to stop the Cowboys. But we know that most defenses are not as elite as the Broncos. There's only a few elite defenses in the NFL. So the Cowboys, I wouldn't be concerned. I just think they just had a bad game. The problem that I would say that the Cowboy fans should be concerned is Zeke. He needs to get his head back into the game and block out all of his legal issues. I know it's tough for him to do that, but while he's playing, he needs to block all that out. I mean, he's clearly not putting forth the effort, and he's clearly a little bit, you know, let's just say he's a little bit bogged down regarding his problems. But, you know, these problems are the ones that he caused, so he needs to get back into the game. And as far as the Broncos, I mean, they're playing well, but, you know, there's still two elite teams in the AFC, and that's the Chiefs and the Raiders. They are definitely the elite teams in that division. I mean, that's really a tough division when you look at it. It's like three teams are definitely vying for the top. But I think the Broncos have a shot of getting a wild card team. They're not going to win their division, but it's not going to be definite that they're going to get that wild card slot, because I'm still not sold on Trevor Siemian. Even though he had a good game, I'm still not sold on him as a starting quarterback. So we'll see. It's going to be interesting. I still think the Cowboys are the elite of the NFC East, and I think the Raiders are the elite of the AFC, the division of the Chiefs and the Denver Broncos. But God, I hate to say that about the I didn't pick your Eagles. I'm from that area too, so I should be good fans of the Eagles, but I'm still not sold on the Eagles yet.
Man, but when it comes to the Broncos, though, I mean, like you said, I'm not sold on Trevor Siemian either. And it doesn't matter how elite your defense is if your offense can't get points on the game. So he did play a good game against the Cowboys, but I think it was just kind of a fluke. I think we're going to see Trevor Siemian go back to being the mediocre quarterback that he really is, and I don't think he's going to be able to keep the Broncos going to get them into the playoffs. But to our special guest, this is kind of one of your state rivals. I understand you're out of Houston, so what do you think about the Cowboys and the Broncos?
I don't. But you know, I was raised not to even acknowledge them.
You can tell he's from,
but you know,
I don't.
You know what I'm saying? But just to be fair, I mean, you know, I'm unapologetically black, and I like the fact that the Cowboys are black now, and basically they're young. You know what I mean? It's a game, guys. I mean, like the Broncos, like you said, got great defense. They fell under pressure. I mean, this is like a storybook to me, man. They're gonna bounce back, and you know, they won't have a horrible season. I mean, that's how Dallas is. I mean, they got too much talent. And I agree with you about Siemian. Like, I think he's still young. He's okay. I think he's gonna be better than like Osweiler or something. But you know, I'm not really looking too much.
Wow. You know, you at least better than rotten cheese. Okay.
You know what I mean? I don't give too much of credit, but you know, I gotta be fair. That's all. You know.
I'm looking at the now. I know some folks think that I am biased against the Dallas Cowboys. They just happen to be right. And I'm unapologetically honest, you know. And what these black folks are doing or running around apologizing. They do apologize. Most of the black brothers that I know and stuff, they need to be apologizing, but I ain't talking about being black. You know, some of them got some old ladies they need to do some serious apologizing to, before they end up getting some grit thrown on their face, you know, a la a certain singer from back in the 70s. But the Dallas fans, look, I'm gonna do y'all a favor, okay? Relax, chill out, cause your team ain't making the playoffs. Okay, so relax, chill out, because yes, defenses have had a year of tape on Dak and Zeke. Zeke, right now Zeke head together. He can't grab no little nipple to suck on because he got breast distance issues, and I'm hoping the boy don't go down like Tiger Woods. See, that's my thing. I hope the brother don't go down like Tiger Woods. We start finding out that he got breast distance issues, and now he can't get his mind right. And then now, I'm worried about you, Zeke. I'm worried about you, brother. You might have to go to breast distance rehab. You might have to go to breast distance rehab. Now look, 888 breast distance. Get what you need. 888 breast distance. Goddess Kelly, back to you.
Well, on that note, while we're all thinking about breastises, I am going to take us to break. So the first 2 listeners to email us or send a shout-out why the ladies are grouped together will receive a $25 gift card from our partners at NFLshop.com and Victoria's Secret. Here is your hint. They got the power. Stay tuned, because coming up next, we have a performance from our special guest, Noah Archangel, on the first part of Shoutout.
888 breastises. Back.
The music flows in from around the globe to get a shout-out from the panel. First Lady, I can't wait to hear the music from our special guest, Noah Archangel.
On Shout Out, we feature new independent artists who are looking to find their shining star. If we like what we hear, we'll give the track a shout out. If we don't like it, we hit the mute. And today we are featuring our very special guest, Noah Archangel. And Noah, before we get started, can you tell us how you got involved in the music business?
I used to DJ and MC for parties back in the day, and when I went to college, I learned how to make music, and I just been collecting other musicians and creators from around the cities and states that I visited to make this group, so that way we can make music.
Right. Goddess Kelly, you have a question?
What's the name of the group?
The Band of the Hawk. The Band of the Hawk is the outfit. Yeah, we got a lot of us. You guys, you may have heard us, maybe not. There's like 12 of us. We got singers, we got just musicians. We do jazz, we do hip hop, we do electronic music, we do rock. We're a label that's basically just trying to make sure that musicians that make good music get to come out and don't have to really fall victim to the whole commercialism and the radio things that happen. You know what I mean? So I'm the main producer, Noah Archangel. But basically, I put together this group of intelligent individuals, and we're ready to go now. So we finally got everything on board, and we've been moving forward with our process.
I'll say up there. You said you got 12 members in the. I'm looking up a Band of the Hawk. You trying to be a Rolls Royce?
Hey.
Slide the family stone. You sound like a slide the family stone kind of brother. You roll.
I was a funkadelic guy, man.
You be rolling up on a wham.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm more of a problem with funkadelic guy myself, but I feel you.
Now, do you do the writing of the music, or is it the other members that do the writing?
We all write, but as the main producer, usually I'm the one that brings the most of the music first, and then everybody comes together and writes to it or performs to it. But we have a total of about 3 producers. We have a full band, of course. We got a few DJs, about 2 or 3 DJs. We have 2 singers, 2 male and 2 female singers, and I would say 3 groups and maybe 3 solo acts when it comes to hip hop as well. So.
All right. Well, that's great. So let's get into your music and let's hear the first song, Roll Up.
All right.
DJ, play that song.
So fresh, so clean, like, hold up. Good kush on the scene, like, roll up. Screw town, when they come around, they slow up. Style phone, cup lean, hold up. So fresh, so clean, like, hold up. Good kush on the scene, like, roll up. Screw town, when they come around, they slow up. Style phone, cup lean, hold up.
Yeah, when the world gets dark and shady, I sit back, my lady, and I blaze streets and we lift up to the heavens. Even though we living in Hades, so I stay drinking till I can't stomach shots like rabies, and the flow is batshit crazy, like one know, but no one knows as I excel. It's just getting hard to excel, and it's excel with that intel to just inhale, and I pray well. It's soul number 2 with a pencil. It's keep my spirit fit, that's just what I do. Good by my standards, great by you. That's why I represent the city of Q. Even though I hail for the home of the blues, I arrange words to get my green in the land of the perp, nigga. What about you? I do what I choose to bless you. Spitting roundabouts, you can catch that too. Until the nigga really beats that dude with a tight flow, how the hell he getting that loose? Well, it's just words with peers of a higher tier. Brainstorm for quiet ears. Kush pull and reverse, pushing high Red Bull and no bullshit. And I pull a clip and a machine gun facing. God is honest. And you may think it's a lot of nonsense. I'm steady dumb and I'm tired of some and I'm trying to bump.
On the scene like roll up, sometimes when they come around they blow up. Style phone, cut lean, blow up. So fresh, so clean like hold up. Good kush on the scene like roll up. Sometimes when they come around they blow up. Style phone, cut lean, blow up. When the world get dark, there's no shine. Close your eyes, spend more time on these dope rhymes, coke lines. Your minds are terrible, thing to waste. So when minds drift into space, like Apollo, that's showtime. Like a hollow blows your mind. Wow. A little hood, but I ain't thug. A little slim, but I ain't thug. Truthfully, on this smooth beat, like a dude who went up against Bruce Lee with the iron glove. Move speeds at a crooked Porsche with the force of an iron slug and a crew T. If you knew me, you see the J bracelet on and a few C's that my son made in school. Please don't try to judge me, just cool breeze. Grew up in the P's, in the J's with a few C's, so they call them cuz. No followers, just a small buzz. That's a few C's, that's a lot of blood, sweat and tears. Your best shit, second tier. I won't stop till my account got 5 O's. No, I ain't buzzed. You drunk, nigga? No, I ain't buzzed. Your whole clique must be high as fuck, cause y'all talking that best shit. Need a piss test in the giant cup, cuz. So fresh, so clean, like hold up. Good kush on the scene, like roll up. Town when they come around, they slow up. Style phone, cup lean, hold up. So fresh, so clean, like hold up. Good kush on the scene, like roll up. Town when they come around, they slow up. Style phone, cup lean, hold up. Let me catch this beat, just hear me speak. Southwest Fresh about to quake your street. Expect nothing less on neglected Jeep. My lyrics be the best when your bass go deep. Got a freak to the seat on the side of me. Only ride with me. Cause you masturbate to the seat when the bass and the beat quake to see. A nigga like you, late to see. Jab step to the left, fake for 3. A nigga like you, fake to me. No debate, it's a race to see. Real niggas dropping at a steady rate to me. So faithfully, I spread the fingers on the palm, then I hold the phone to bring doom upon your team. Call it chloroform, cause it ain't quite ether. I'm mean. I've seen how you seem to cling to frivolous things. How keen my regime seems for the laws of the cream. But we know the world ain't all that it seems. There's a few things, there's a few dreams that we hold above. Not on the fence and no shoulder shrug. Like love, honesty, God, respect, and loyalty. And honestly, some of these boys be out there, straight out of there, without a care. Can't see to achieve not what you want, but what you need. It takes despair. I hate to sell. Proceed so the grieving system may. So please, no need, just walk away. Giving G's like me, unfair display. I dare to say, I'm here to stay. Same yesterday like I was today. True yesterday like I was today. Real yesterday like I was today.
We gon' roll it up, blow the smoke off in the air, kill the stress and let it clear. Your mind that we gon' hold it down, we gon' roll it up, blow the smoke off in the air, kill the stress and let it clear. Your mind that we gon' hold it down, we gon' roll it up, blow the smoke off in the air, kill the stress and let it clear. Your mind and we gon' hold it down, we gon' roll it up, blow the smoke off in the air, kill the stress and let it clear. Your mind and we gon' hold it down,
we gon' roll it up, we gon' roll it up, we gon' roll it up, we gon' roll it up.
All right, so they're going to roll it up. Well, that's definitely not church music and gospel, so let's go to the panel and see what their take is. Are they going to give the song a shout, or are they going to hit the mute button? Goddess Kelli, you know I'm going to start with you first. And hold on, Noah Archangel. Let's hear what Goddess Kelli has to say.
Well, a lot of times when we listen to these tracks on Shout Out, the one thing that kind of makes everybody sound amateur to me is the fact that there's no layering of the vocals. Now, I think that Noah Archangel really did this kind of masterfully. There was a lot of layering, there was those harmonies built into the vocals, and lyrically, I thought it flowed very, very well. I really liked the vocal aspect of this. The rap, to me, was very well done, and there was a lot of dimension to the vocal part of the music. My only complaint on it was there was no bass line. It kind of almost felt a little bit hollow, the instrumental in the background. It just needed that little bit of bass line. I think if you just added that, the track would be fire. So I'm actually going to give it a shout out, and that's rare from me.
He's right, Bill. I'm telling you, that is
Wow,
rare.
appreciate that. No doubt.
No doubt.
Yeah, thank you.
Spitface, what did you think of the song Roll Up?
Well, since we know Goddess Kelly's alter ego is Simon Cowell, because it definitely ain't Paula Abdul, even though Goddess kind of finer than Paula Abdul. I mean, Paula Abdul older now and stuff, but, you know, back in the day, she was kind of a little cutie. Goddess Kelly kind of got her beat. Now, let me warn y'all, audience, she got a boyfriend. So, you know, and the nigga holding close, too. You know, last time I saw, you know, peeking around corners, you know, he making sure ain't nothing happening with that woman, with her fine self. And I'm kind of upset that both of them come to the studio today because, you know, they the finest women in sports radio with splits on, and everybody got on sweet smelling cologne. You know, I'm like confused. I'm like, you know, and then I hear a track where they talking about Kush, and I ain't got none. So I'm about ready to hit the mute button on that. You know, that like that. Come on, you know. But I'm giving it a shout out. Let me shut up.
Okay. Well, you know,
You.
I kind of agree. It was a good song. My only complaint, and I'm just saying this, I just never liked the use of the N-word in songs. I'm from that perspective, not to use the N-word, but I understand with rap, you know, they use it a lot. Rappers use it a lot. But
I completely agree with you. I completely agree with you, and they've gotten better at stop doing that. Cause that's one of my. I'm a little bit older myself, and I'm like, hey, there's ways that we can talk without having to say these kind of words or whatever. But that's the first song they recorded with me. So in their defense, that's kind of why. Yeah, they're way better now.
All right. Well, anyway, other than that, I agree with you. I got to tell you that the rapping was actually great. I mean, he really rolled the words off and was very professional, that part of it. But like I said, the N-word. So anyway, we will definitely check out Noah Archangel on part 2 of Shout Out. And I think it's the sound of our favorite underwater friend. Is it time for Flip It?
And we go flipper, live in a world full of wonder, flying there under the sea.
It's time for Flip It, where our host, the fan appointed, and flip the script and defend the opposing view. Now, we are week 3 of the NFL season, and it's a good time to take an early peek and see if we have a pretender or contender. How about the undefeated Detroit Lions? Now, since we have our guest, Noah Archangel, Noah, what we do on Flip It is that we defend both sides of a view. So on the first part, we defend one side of the opinion, and then on the second part, we flip the script and defend the opposing view. So it's like we like the defense attorney, we the prosecutor on one side, then we flip the script and act like we the lawyer.
Like
so,
the debate team. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you know, so we flip the script, but we do it on ourselves. You know, all right. So, all right, that you know, that's what we do it to ourselves. You know, so so we're gonna defend They have played great, but beat two woeful teams. The Lions, because the Cardinals look kind of woeful, and the Giants starting to look like they need that green guy to come and block for Eli. They have played great, but beat two woeful teams. The Lions are pretenders. You know, I love the Motor City. I do. I grew up in Chicago, and I have family in Detroit, and we visited stuff. And I love Detroit. And and as bad as the Bears would be, it was like Detroit was even worse. You know, so I always say, you know, they were like the little brother to the bad team. You know. So, you know, it was always, you know, kind of like, you know, hey, look, you know, I don't know if it was like a little sympathy thing, but, you know, I was like, hey, look, you know, we both got sorry-ass teams. So, you know, I couldn't get mad at Detroit. And, you know, I would kind of, you know, and I like Barry Sanders, you know. And Matt Stafford is a bad boy. I'm like, plus, Matt, I ain't trying to get on your bad side because you got a lot of money and we want you to invest in the show. So I'm with you, bro. But right now, y'all pretenders. You know, now y'all pretenders not of your own making. Not of your own making. Y'all have played well. But when you play well against two teams that can't get, you know, two wins between the both of them, it's a little suspect. So right now, I got to say, it's the great pretenders' time. Goddess Kelli, defend.
Well, absolutely, they're pretenders. If you look at the Detroit Lions defense, they've got barely any defense to speak of. Yeah, guess what? They beat the Cardinals. They beat the Giants. We're talking about two washed-up quarterbacks where the best years are behind him. Carson Palmer, he is going down. Eli Manning is going down. Of course, the Cardinals lost David Johnson that first game of the season, so that definitely helped the Lions keep it competitive. If you want to be considered a contender and not a pretender, you got to completely shut down those opposing offenses, especially when they're playing that terrible. We're talking about two teams with no offensive line. So, of course, they were able to get penetration and be able to get that win because the Detroit Lions, they're all right. I'm not saying they're a bad team. They're all right. But they were playing against two teams that completely suck. Talk to me after you beat some of the other people. Talk to me after you beat Green Bay twice because you know what? They're in your division, so you're going to have to take that down. Talk to me when your offense can score against the Vikings defense. Talk to me then. Until then, you pretenders.
All right, pretenders, and she let that East Coast accent slip out. We caught it. It's all right. We're going to play it over again and again. Brother Noah, do you care to defend?
I mean, I don't really pay attention to the Lions like that, man. But I mean, you know, they've always had, even when Megatron was there, man, they had talent, but they just couldn't really put it together. And I agree, like the two teams they played aren't really, they're mediocre teams as well, at this point. So they didn't really prove anything. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. I really can't really defend them, but I know that I don't want to say they're pretenders either, but I don't think they're contenders at all. I can definitely tell you that. So if I have to pick one of the two, then I have to say pretenders. You know what I mean? Like they'll do a little bit of something, but they're not gonna make no real noise.
All right, okay, pretenders. First Lady, defend.
I wouldn't say the Lions beat two woeful teams. You know that's our favorite word, Ronnie B. But anyway, the Cardinals and Giants are teams that have issues, and the Lions got them early in the schedule, which means teams are still getting into shape, and it's hard to really judge how great teams are going to be. With that being said, I have to judge the Lions on how they've always played, and they are pretenders. They may play well in the regular season, but they fall apart in the playoffs. And they haven't won, believe it or not, a playoff game in 25 seasons. So why do I think that they're going to go to the playoffs and win a game? So, you know, whether or not they play woeful teams, it's going to be the same old Lions. The Lions from the Wizard of Oz, if they only had a heart.
Man, all right. Ease on down the road. Oh, that's a different one. But now this is flip. This is flipping where we flip the script. Now the Lions have played great and beat down two teams they needed to beat down, given those two teams are woeful. Roar, Lions, you are contenders. Now, some might say that, look, who did they beat? Who did they beat to be 0-2? And I'm going to tell you who they beat. They beat two NFL teams that have two really strong defenses that can go elite in a heartbeat. I kind of like how that's said. I might get hired by Noah. Elite in a heartbeat.
Hard.
might get up on there. I can only do about 4 lines, but hey, maybe I can get in there somewhere. I just want to get a little credit and stuff. That's all. But hey, and the thing about as they say, any given Sunday, these are all professional teams, professional players. A win is a win. They don't look at the Patriots record and say, well, Patriots, your record is you're a really great team because all you did was beat up on those sorry-ass teams in your division. They don't say that. You're a great team, So, yeah, because I put like Buffalo. Right. Jets.
Right.
Miami. I'm a Miami fan. Miami. Time out. But they don't say that about Patriots ain't great. They go, the Patriots just padded their record. No, they don't say that. And at the end of the season, when they don't go, your record is such and such. But see, these teams were the woeful ones. No, we say that. They played two defenses that could have turned things around. And even though their offenses were weak, they did what they were supposed to do. They capitalized on that, and they beat that ass. Goddess Kelli, defend.
Well, a lot of people were saying after Calvin Megatron Johnson retired that Matt Stafford was not going to be seen as any form of a good quarterback whatsoever. But you know what? He proved those critics wrong. Once his number one target and arguably one of the best wide receivers of our generation was out of the game, he gained the ability to kind of pass the ball around. It started confusing defenses because before they would start double teaming Megatron because they knew that's where the ball was going to go. And after that, Matt Stafford has kind of established himself as a pretty darn good quarterback. And you know what? We do talk about the fact that the offenses of the Cardinals and the Giants have not been doing so great, but their defenses are still pretty respectable, and they were able to score enough to win those games. So going down the stretch, if you look at their schedule, aside from some of their division rivals, they've actually got a pretty easy time of it. They're not going to have any trouble with the Bears. They might have some trouble with the Packers and the Vikings, depending upon what happens with injuries there, but the rest of their schedule, it does look pretty easy. So I think we are going to see some Lions roaring in the playoffs. I think they could be contenders.
All right. We flipping the script. Noah Archangel, care to defend?
I mean, you got a few facts there. I mean, Matt Stafford got his money. He's got to earn it. I think he's got his confidence up. With him being, he's proven he's a good quarterback. I mean, it is early in the season. We can't really call it, but if you got two good wins early in the season, get your confidence up for the whole team. They can go do their thing, So, and like you said, if the schedule's easy, but any given Sunday, of course. But if the schedule's easy, then the numbers are there. They could probably do it. But Matt Stafford, I think he's going to have to really lead them, and if he does that, then they will be contenders.
All right. Good defense. Okay, got First Lady. Please defend.
I mean, the Lions have always been a disappointment, but let's cheer for the fact that they had two great victories against the Cardinals and the Giants. I was, like Goddess Kelli said, very impressed with Matthew Stafford, who is the richest quarterback in the league. It's really hard to say that, but he is right now the richest quarterback in the league. And considering the amount of pressure that was on him after signing that lucrative contract, Stafford played really well, and he guided the Lions to two convincing victories over normally two decent teams. You know, they're not great, but they're decent. And the Lions are really well-rounded. That's one thing about the Lions. They can beat you with their offense, and they can beat you with their defense. So, I mean, they sack Eli 5 times. I mean, you can't say enough about that defense. And, the Lions are contenders, and I see them. They're going to be roaring all the way to the playoffs.
All right. Now, you've heard the first part of Flip It for this week, but right now, Goddess Kelli, please take us to break.
Stay tuned, because up next we have got the Funnies and our favorite underwater friend on Flip It Part 2.
888 breastesses. Welcome back. You are still listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. We got Noah Archangel in the house. We got Goddess Kelli. We got the First Lady. CJ, unfortunately, CJ ain't here this week. She had to attend to a personal family matter. In other words, she stabbed that nigga. I mean, something happened. She had to go to a funeral. But it is time for the Funnies. Goddess Kelli, over to you.
All right, I think we have something interesting for the panel and our listeners. Arkansas police seek toilet paper bandits who vandalized restroom. Authorities in Arkansas are seeking a pair of toilet paper bandits caught on camera taking rolls of tissue from a public restroom in a park. The Coleman County Sheriff's Office posted a video to Facebook showing the two men pulling up in a red or maroon GMC Envoy and walking into the men's room at Sportsman's Lake Park in Coleman. The video cuts to the men exiting the restroom with large rolls of toilet tissue. Police said the men took an entire toilet paper dispensers out of the restroom, which each cost $100 to replace. You know what? The only thing I gotta say about this is if you're so hard up for some toilet paper, you know what? Society is failing you. You know what, Donald Trump? I know you're trying to get rid of all these handouts, trying to cut people's welfare, cut their Medicaid, but what about a toilet paper allowance? You know what? People need to wipe their ass. Let people wipe their ass. Let's make it free. Free toilet paper for everyone. When I run for president, that will be my platform. Everyone gets free toilet paper. But on that note,
Goddess Kelli, I'm a little upset at the brothers. Well, I shouldn't say, brothers in the sense that they men, you know. And why I'm upset with them is because now, see, I go to the restroom and now I'm in a shitty situation. You know, that ain't right.
Literally.
That ain't right. You know, calm down, dog.
well, you know what, though? I happen to be of the opinion that you shouldn't be shitting in a public restroom anyway. Save that for at home. Some things you do in the privacy of your own house.
Yeah, I hear you.
Hey, when you gotta go,
gotta go.
You gotta go.
Sometimes you gotta go, though, yeah. Sometimes you gotta go.
That's what separates us from the animals. But speaking of animals, I hear the water splashing, so I think it's time for our favorite underwater friend. It's time for Flip It Part 2.
Okay, yes, it's time where our panelists defend a point of view from both sides. So let's start. It's hard to imagine this team leaving California for the friendly confines of Sin City, but we ask, are the Las Vegas Raiders contenders or pretenders? Panel, let's defend. The Raiders are doing something right. They are contenders. I'm going to start off with Goddess Kelli.
Now, you know what? Last season, they came so close. If it wasn't for that injury to Derek Carr, I have a feeling we would have seen the Raiders going to at least the AFC Championship game, if not the Super Bowl. I think that they are a great young team. I think that Derek Carr is one of the most talented quarterbacks. Amari Cooper is on fire. Thank you so much for all of the fantasy points. Their defense needs a little bit of work. They got my man Khalil Mack out there on the defensive end, and he balls out. He needs to get the rest of his teammates on the same page as him. But the sky is the limit for this Raiders team. Like I said, they are young. They've got momentum on their side. They are a powerful team. As long as everyone can stay healthy, they are absolutely contenders. I think it's their conference to lose at this point.
Okay, if they can stay healthy. Archangel.
No.
I'm sorry. Yes, I think I just got your name wrong.
No, man. No, it's like my first and last name. So it's all good.
I know.
I think the Raiders are young. You know what I mean? So the Raiders are young. I mean, they're definitely contenders. I mean, Derek Carr was dope last year, man. And funny is, his brother wasn't nowhere near that for us, but they're a young team. They got a chip on their shoulder. I think with the addition of Lynch, man, it's pretty much a wrap. I mean, they pretty much are gonna do some damage.
Okay. Spitface. Now I know you are Raiders. I mean, you're not. You the Raiders fans. I know what they feel about the Raiders leaving Oakland, but anyway, they're in Vegas now. So, what do you think about the Raiders?
Well, first off, since I ain't never been no Raiders fan, but I don't hate the Raiders. I don't hate the Raiders. Dallas has that honor, but I
was thinking of Dizzy Mac. I had a Dizzy Mac sighting there.
Yeah, you thought? Yeah, I can get it that when he wear that silver and black bearskin rug. But the Raiders, as y'all pointed out, they were injury away from the AFC Championship.
Mm-hmm.
If Derek Carr on the field, Brock Osweiler playing for the Texans, they would have won that game. They would have won that game. So, the injury, unfortunately, that injury, that's the nature of the game. They were contenders then. They contenders now. They'll be contenders at the end of the season. And the reason they're going to be contenders, beast mode. Beast mode. So they fired up. They got a real. They got somebody who can not only punch it in, he can punch it in from way back. He's still stomping and running over folks. They scary. They're not just contenders. They scary.
Okay, Spiffy. You said they're scurry. I hear you because I agree with you. Because I have the Raiders and Marshawn Lynch. They dancing their way to winning games. Because we know Marshawn Lynch, he can dance on that sideline. But the Raiders are showing that they can be an elite team, especially, coming out of the AFC West. Even though the Chiefs and the Broncos are showing that they can be powerhouses, I just think offensively the Raiders are so much superior to the Chiefs and Broncos. They just have a more explosive and dynamic offense. And Derek Carr, he is definitely within the top 5 of quarterbacks in the league. And, they have the best core of receivers. As you said, Mari Cooper is awesome. And this team is just doing everything right to make a serious run for the Super Bowl. As everybody said, they were one injury away, and that's the whole key. Can they make it to the Super Bowl barring any significant injuries? You hear me, Derek Carr? Do not break your leg. And, the Raiders are definitely going to go all the way. All right, we're going to flip the script. This is where we defend the other point of view. The Raiders look good, but the Broncos and the Chiefs are better. The dice are coming up snake eyes. Sorry, Raiders, you will be pretenders. All right, I'm going to start with Spitface.
All right, the Raiders, I gotta hand it to them. The Raiders are playing. They jamming. They got beast mode, but they don't have Andy Reid. They don't have Andy Reid, and the Kansas City Chiefs are playing the type of ball you play consistently that will take away those big-time receivers, and I will say, shut down beast mode. That's right. The Kansas City Chiefs, because of Andy Reid and the way that he schemes and has that defense set, sorry. Now, the other thing is the Broncos. See, the Broncos sneaky. See, they little sneaky. Von Miller, you ever watch it? He be doing stuff behind them glasses. But the sneaky thing about them is is that you go to play them and you thinking about our quarterback and, they this and that and stuff, and then they come, somehow or another, they come out with a 4x4 and start whomping on your offense. Wait. Where this come from? Whomp. The Raiders, when they have to match up against that Broncos defense, it's going to be a whole nother story. Because the Broncos know what the Super Bowl look like. Mm-hmm. And Andy Reid. And Andy Reid. So, hey, since they ain't doing no menage a trois, they the odd team out.
Okay. So, since they don't have Andy Reid, they're the odd team out. All right. Noah Archangel, can you please defend? The Raiders are pretenders.
I ain't got much, but it's the fact that the Raiders are young. Once again, the Broncos and Chiefs are established. They know what they're doing. Their defenses are, to a certain degree elite. They got their scheme together. So with their defenses and their veteran people that are there to hold it down, when it comes to the coaches and players, and then the Raiders being a young team, and then like you said, everybody's worried about this injury and whatnot, and it's early in the season as well. Yeah, I mean, that's all I got for them to be pretenders.
They're just too old, right? They added the old man beast mode, so they just made them a lot older. All right. Goddess Kelli, defend.
I'm just
Raiders
here.
will be pretenders.
I'm just here so I won't get fined. But anyway, yeah. Speaking of beast mode, I loved him when he played in Seattle. I thought he was incredible. I still think Pete Carroll is the greatest idiot of head coaches for not giving the ball to Marshawn Lynch to win the Super Bowl, for throwing that interception. And Pete Carroll, I actually think, is a pretty decent coach half the time. You know who's not much of a coach, and that is Jack Del Rio. So far, Jack Del Rio has gotten by on the talent of his young quarterback and the rest of the team. When the chips fall, when they get to a place where they're playing elite teams that actually have real coaches, like you mentioned, Andy Reid. Let's not forget Bill Belichick, too. The Raiders aren't going to have a chance when it comes to a coach that actually knows what he's doing. Marshawn Lynch so far has started the year excellent, but he had a year off. He was retired for a year, and now he is back. So defenses forgot to prepare for him. Now that he's had a couple of games under his belt, people are going to have his number, and he's not the spring chicken he used to be. He's not as fast as he was when he played for Seattle. That being said, also, like you guys mentioned, they are a young team. They lack the experience and the mental fortitude to get it done in clutch time. So that's going to be their downfall. We're going to see a great regular season, but when they're playing an elite team, they're going to fall short. So those Raiders, sorry, you guys are pretenders.
All right. You say that the Coach Del Rio is just not the great coach as the other coaches. Okay, I guess. But anyway, the Raiders are pretenders because it's a numbers game, and the Broncos and the Chiefs are just better. The Raiders are superb in offense, but they are so far behind the eight ball when it comes to the defense. The Broncos and the Chiefs are just too superior to the Raiders. To win games, you can't always outscore the other team. You have to be able to make stops. And unfortunately, the Raiders are not going to be able to make those stops and make enough stops. So because of that, they are pretenders, and that's just the bottom line. Defense wins you championships. Just ask the Atlanta Falcons. They just couldn't stop the Patriots for one play, and that's what caused them the championship. So it's about defense. Yes. So anyway, Goddess Kelli, let's over to you so we can have some jambalaya.
Well, I have got a very special and delicious mix of jambalaya for our panel today. Here is this week's quote. Maybe if we start telling people the brain is an app, they will start using it. So panel, how does this quote relate to Zeke Elliott? Now for me, it's pretty clear that Zeke Elliott does not know how to use his brain, despite the fact that when he was back in Ohio, even though the Columbus cops tried to cover it up, tried to hush it up. He's still a woman beater, and he went to the Dallas Cowboys because that's where women beaters go. It's like purgatory for domestic assault people. They go to Dallas. And then we have the issue with the breastises, as Spitface likes to call it. We've got him trying to get out of his suspension. We've got him not playing good. And let's not forget that whole half-shirt fiasco at the NFL draft. Nobody wants to see those abs. Sorry, Zeke. They're just not that cool. You're not an attractive guy. You look like an Ewok. But think a little bit. You know what? You are a grown-ass man now. It's time to start acting like the man you are. Leave your college and your childhood days behind. Stand up. Do something respectable. I know that's hard when you're in Dallas, but just try for me. First Lady, what you think?
Well, I think you said it all. He just doesn't use his brain. That's the bottom line to it. He just had made some dumb he got himself involved in some dumb situations, even though domestic violence is not a dumb situation. It's a very serious situation, but Zeke is definitely not using his brain. And how could you forget also when he went to the marijuana shop in Denver? That was one other thing he did, which was kind of stupid, too. But, I mean, there's nothing more to add to it that, Zeke Elliott definitely needs to use his brain. Going back to what, hey, it seems like I'm using a lot about the Wizard of Oz. Remember, the Scarecrow was always looking for a brain?
Oh, man.
For one, too.
All right, special guest Noah Archangel. What do you think about Zeke?
Oh, man, like you said it all. I mean, just the domestic violence, hitting. I can't get down with that. I can't get down. I don't mind the weed, but I mean, I can't do that if I'm getting paid millions to play, sports. So, that's not a smart move right there. And then, my whole thing, it's old, but just the shirt thing was just kind of, off-putting for me, man. I'm just like, I'm ripped up. You know what I'm saying? I'm ripped up, but I just, I don't want air all on my stomach like that. You know what I mean? I need to keep my stuff covered up. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, so it's just like Grandma used to say, man, common sense ain't so common, you know what I mean? That's all I got.
Mm-hmm. Spitface, what you think?
I'm with that old saying, common sense ain't so common. And in Zeke's case, Zeke, 888 breastises. That's all I'm saying.
Well, on that note, that jambalaya was delicious and smooth. And First Lady, I'm going to turn it over for you to break. And during break, I'm going to stare at our special guest, Noah Archangel, and imagine him in a half shirt. So First Lady, take us away.
On the other side of break, we have another performance from our special guest, Noah Archangel, on Shout Out. Please stay tuned.
888 breastises. Welcome back. You are listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. It's time for Shout Out Part 2 with our special guest, Noah Archangel, the picks, and the finale. The music flows from around the globe to get a shout out from the crew. Goddess Kelli, over to you.
All right, we have got another performance from our special guest, Noah Archangel. Let's hope this song is as good as he looks. So let's hear Politics.
So broke to get fine ways to get fly, I'm saying. Nah, I'm just a nigga from the league. Rare white shit, I'm just practicing what I preach. I practice it in the speech. You hear when I speak, I'm just matching it to the beat. I'm rapping it and speaking, I'm breaking the fourth wall. A fool for the cool and the R.I.P.'s. But no true shit, it's just cool shit. Just another case of a nigga spitting blue shit. I got next, so you better get on your woo shit. Nigga, that's true shit, you cool spit. Couldn't even give two shits, cause y'all ain't that easy. Your mafia just too sick. Stay 2 steps behind, but no problem. We keep firing over your way. That's true shit. Still politics is wild. Still politics is wild. Still politics is wild. Still politics 2016. to no end. No joking, I'm rookie, I ain't coming to slow down. Big smoking, it ain't clear cause we ain't got no fans. We the best that never done it. And all this social media got most of these niggas extra pressure and all the comments like they dying for the brawl. And all this line on my wall got me feeling like the best that ever ended. It's a jungle out there. Don't forget the tigers and bears, sex scandals and stares. I bear 2 O's like my 2 O's with no tattoos. If I choose, I could lose. Shoes, hold tools, to these verbal tools. Nothing moves but the money, you know the rules. Verbal hair triggers, remember the figure of the thought that made you trigger. You get into the whole list. Before the rest of GS get a chance to deploy, I go out here with McCoy. It's still politics as usual. Still politics as usual. Still politics as usual. Still politics. 2016. It's still politics as usual. Still politics as usual. Still politics as usual. Still politics. Okay, and the verse still going dope like I'm pushing, cause I keep pulling green light in the behind, cause they fall beyond hindsight, so we on middle. Well, fuck it, ready to get them. These crazy broads trying to be rap superstars. I'll put you on the Easter rocket and blast your ass to Mars. My lyrics monster. I smash cards, season far, past your level. I'm not ever, you just a speck of pebbles. Just fucking trouble, this fucking space. I ain't found my place, I ain't got a fan base. We're the blue breeder race that moves at a faster pace than the cloud. Trying to climb me down, only makes me loud. My weed's loud, I'm quite wild. Before I black out.
All right, that was Politics. Is the track gonna get a shout out or the mute button? So, First Lady, over to you first.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. I like the first song better. This song, the rapping again was good. The only problem with this song, I just didn't like the connection of the music with the rapping. I don't know if that was the right track to rap over, so that's why I'm going to give it a yo. Only because of I just didn't, the music for some reason to me didn't go in a great combination with the rapping. So that's my only issue.
All right, Spitface.
Appreciate your honesty.
Yeah, now I'm giving it a shout out. I really like the track. And now the one thing is the track made me want to hear the singer separately.
Right.
It made me like, damn, you know. And I like the rap. I like the combination, but it's like that shoot, man. I want to hear that singer by their own self. They would, and I like the smooth groove of it too. And now I am mad at you about that one thing, the end of the track. See, that blew my high. Going into the dial tone, come on, man! We're gonna have to talk after the program. I was there, brother. You know, but I'm giving it a shout out.
I'm going to be with the First Lady on this one. I think that your lyricist and your rapper is excellent. I loved the overlay of the woman's voice in the background there. The instrumental for me, it was a little bit overpowering. I liked the beat of it, but maybe a different instrument. And again, I think you just need to add in a little bit more bass to it. But the real strength of the group for me is definitely the dimension of the vocals, how you've got the layering of the harmonies going on there. I really, really enjoy that. I wish that your rapper was featured a little bit more in this track, but that instrumental did just kind of overpower it a little bit. So maybe if it was a different instrument, maybe a little bit more electronic, a little quieter, but definitely the woman's voice. I loved that part of it, and I loved the harmonies. So I'm going to give it a yo.
I appreciate that.
And that is the end of Shout Out. Noah Archangel, let our fans know how they can hear more of your work. I know I'm definitely interested.
You got the website at www.bandofthehawk.com. Of course, we're on all social media. Check out Noah of HTX, NOAHOF HTX, or you can just search Band of the Hawk or Noah Archangel on any social media. And then on SoundCloud as well, we're on there. But everything's on the website. We just dropped a new record yesterday, so There's a new compilation out, and there is more bass in the new one. So yeah, maybe you'll like that one. And, we take criticism great. I love it, man. I really appreciate the true honesty and criticism, because that's what makes me better.
Absolutely. And with some of the tracks that we hear on this segment, you're definitely a breath of fresh air, probably one of my favorite bands that we've heard so far. But if anyone out there has any questions or comments or wants to send in their tracks, you can send your email and your tracks to panties@oldgrumpyradio.com. But now it is time for the picks, so First Lady, over to you.
Yes, it is time for the picks. Will I keep my crown from last year's NFL season, or will a new champion rise? All right, so we have 2 weeks of predictions and results. So for the first week, Spitface, you were at minus 4,000 points. Goddess Kelly, you were at minus 33,000 points. And CJ was at minus 35,000 points. And I had 60,000 points. So I'm leading right now, but you know how that goes. It's early in the season. Okay, for the second week, I had 10,000 points. CJ was leading with 43,000 points. Goddess Kelly, you got hit hard with that option. You're at minus 67,000 points. And Spitface, you were at minus 47,000 points. So our current totals are, I'm leading with 70,000 points. CJ has 8,000 points. Spitface, you're at minus 51,000 points. And Goddess Kelly, you are coming up from the rear at a minus 100,000 points. So let's get to the current picks in the current games. The Browns versus the Colts. 1,000 for the win and minus 1,000 for the loss. Okay. Goddess Kelly, start with you. The Browns at the Colts. Who's going to win?
The Browns are bad, but the Colts are worse, so I'm going to go with Cleveland.
Cleveland. Wow. Spitface.
You know, this is a tough one for me, and the reason it's tough is that the Browns are on the road. If the Colts were playing in Cleveland, I would hands down go ahead and give it to them. Now, the other thing is they got that new guy, Jacoby Brissett, from the Patriots, who can, you know, at least kind of run around. You know, this is another case of an offensive line that does nothing but offend the quarterback. You know, so they need that. But I'm gonna go with Goddess Kelly and say the Browns get an upset. Well, as much as an upset against the woeful Colts can be, win on the road.
Okay, Noah Archangel, who are you going with?
I gotta go with the Colts. I'm sorry, I don't trust the Browns.
All right. Well, you know what? I'm going to jump on the Browns bandwagon because I'm going to go with the Browns, too, because I think this is one game that they definitely can win. And we know they're going to have a struggle this year. So, hey, the Colts are not playing well at all, and Andrew Luck won't be playing. So I'm definitely going to Browns. So let's move on. The Giants versus the Eagles, 1,000 points for a win and a minus 1,000 for a loss. All right, Goddess Kelly, I already know who you want, but you go ahead and tell us.
Fly, Eagles, fly on the road to victory. Philadelphia all the way.
Philadelphia all the way. Noah Archangel?
I mean, the name of the outfit's the Band of the Hawks. I got to go with the Eagles, man.
Woohoo!
Okay. I'm going with the Eagles also. I didn't go again. I went against them the first week, but I'm going to go with them this time. Spitface.
You know, ordinarily I would look at this game and say that this is a trap game. The Eagles come into it flying high after they got to sit up there and watch that whooping and dismal display of talent known as the New York Giants football team, and they could be looking a little bit ahead of themselves. But it ain't going to happen. Eagles going to whoop that ass.
I thought you were going with the Giants on that one, Spitface. Had me going. All right. The next game, Saints versus the Panthers. 1,000 for a win and minus 1,000 for the loss. All right. Spit face. Saints versus the Panthers.
Is there a coin that I'm able to flip?
Yeah. I know what you mean. That's a bet there.
Yeah, I'm Panthers because they're at home.
Okay. I'm going to go with the Panthers, too, because, like you said, I'm just going to have more faith in Cam Newton than I do in the Saints defense. That this is a game that's going to turn it around for Cam. Noah Archangel.
I'm a Saints fan, actually, and peace to everybody from Louisiana or whatever, but I got to go with the Black Panthers. I mean, the Carolina Panthers.
Goddess Kelli.
Well, Drew Brees just screwed me over on that option last week, so with a vengeance, I'm going to say the Panthers.
Okay. Seahawks versus the Titans. 1,000 points for the win and a minus 1,000 points for the loss. All right, Seahawks and Titans. I'm going to go with the Titans, believe it or not. I don't feel good about the Seahawks right now. There's a lot of turmoil on the Seahawks with Richard Sherman jabbing. So I'm going to go with the Titans. Goddess Kelli.
I am going to go with Seattle because Marcus Mariota, in my mind, is linked with Chip Kelly, and Chip Kelly is the devil, so I'm going to go with the Seahawks.
The Seahawks. Okay. Noah Archangel.
I don't like the Titans because they left Houston one. I never cared for them, and plus I like what the Seahawks stand for, so I'm gonna go for the Seahawks.
Okay, spit face.
This is another one where I want to flip a coin because the Seahawks defense, has been proven, but are they elite enough to get them over the hump when Russell Wilson is running around? That boy need to he could quit football and just get back on track because he run the way he got to run around and stuff. Shoot, he prepared for the Olympics. But so I am just so suspect that they won't get anything going on offense that the Titans at home can squeak out a win by a field goal. So I'm going to go with the Titans.
All right. Raiders versus Washington. 1,000 points for a win, minus 1,000 for a loss. Goddess Kelli. I know you're not rooting for Washington, but anyway, what's your pick?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that is true. And you guys, I can't say Washington because you guys said I'm not allowed to say the name of that football team, so I got to say the Raiders.
Okay. Spit face.
This is another one that could be a trap game for the Raiders. And I think that this is a game where Beast Mode is going to show his little behind. I'm going to go with the Raiders.
Okay, well, I'm definitely going with the Raiders. And Noah Archangel?
I'm with the town. I'm with the Raiders. Let's go.
Let's go with the Raiders. Okay. Cowboys versus the Cardinals. How about them Cowboys? Let's see. Well, I'm going to start it off. It's 1,000 points for the win and minus 1,000 for the loss. I'm going to go with the Cardinals. I don't know. The Cowboys, I don't know how they're going to do on the road, so I'm going to go with the Cardinals. Goddess Kelli.
There's only one team in the NFC East that's allowed to win this week, and that is the Philadelphia Eagles, so I'm going with the Cardinals.
Yes.
I'm with the Cardinals. Noah Archangel?
I have to go for the Cardinals. It's never Cowboys, ever.
Ever, never the Cowboys.
Ever.
All right.
Yes.
Ever. Okay. Spit face.
Ordinarily, I go with the Cardinals, but I am just too suspect of the quarterback play. And the Cowboys, other than having to go up against them Rough Riders up in Denver, that offensive line is still strong. I'm looking for a rebound. I'm going with the Cowboys.
Okay. Let's go over to some hodgepodge. Who will score more touchdowns, Alex Smith or Matthew Stafford? I'm going to start this off. Well, it's 10,000 for a win and minus 15,000 for a loss. I'm going to go with Matthew Stafford. I think it was an aberration for Alex Smith to score a lot of points and have a lot of yards, so I'm going to go with Stafford. Goddess Kelli.
I think Kansas City is going to have more points, but I think they're going to pound it into the end zone with their run game. So I'm going to go with Matt Stafford.
Right.
Okay. Spit face.
I'm looking at it, and Matt got that big money.
Yeah.
I'm going with Matt.
Going with Matt. And Noah Archangel?
Same. Show me the money. Matt Stafford.
Okay, we all going with Stafford. That's a trap game. All right, who will have more passing yards? Aaron Rodgers or famous Jameis Winston? 15,000 for a win and minus 15,000 for a loss. Goddess Kelli.
Well, I can't say Winston because everybody makes fun of the way I pronounce his name. I just can't say it right. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's my accent or whatever. So I have to say Aaron Rodgers because he is cooler than the flip side of the pillow.
Okay. I'm going to go with Jameis Winston. I think really the Buccaneers are really balling this year. I have a lot of faith in them. So I'm going to go with Winston. Noah Archangel.
It's all good. I'm going to go, I'm going to do the discount double check and go with Aaron Rodgers.
Okay, you're going with that bad man, Aaron Rodgers. All right. Spit face.
Aaron Rodgers is the thing this week with Aaron Rodgers is his receivers are Hoyt. So he ain't playing, with I'll say the full hand. He go get his. But Jameis, that boy been smoking. Jameis, and I don't mean Kush. Jameis Winston. I'm going with Jameis.
All right, we're going with Jameis. Who will have more rushing yards? The Titans, the entire team, or Le'Veon Bell? 15,000 for the win, minus 15,000 for the loss. Noah Archangel, now this is a tough one because, these are tricky ones. Is Le'Veon Bell going to have more yards than the entire Titans team?
I don't think so, but I'm going to go with Le'Veon Bell just because that's such an outrageous thing. It's just dope to me. So I'm going to go with Bell.
Well, it is not outrageous because he had more than the Chicago Bears last week. Okay.
No, just the idea. The idea of a man being able to beat a whole team is outrageous. And it's true. It's great. I mean, I got to go with him.
Anyway, I am going to pick this week. I'm going to pick the Titans, even though I went against Le'Veon last week. But, I mean, Marcus Mariota, he can rush for several yards. So I'm definitely going with the Titans. Spit face.
I'm going to because Mariota can run a little bit, and given he's going to probably have to run a little bit, and they're going to need to run the ball more than Pittsburgh's going to need to do. Oh, wait just a minute. I take that back. That's Pittsburgh versus the Bears, ain't it? Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell 200 yards. Oh, no, Le'Veon Bell. He about to run amok and stuff. They might think he got diarrhea.
All right. Goddess Kelli, who do you have?
Ask not for whom the bell tolls, because it tolls for Le'Veon. I'm taking Le'Veon Bell.
All right, you're going to take Le'Veon Bell. Okay, all right. I guess I'm the only one on my own with that one. All right, the option. You have to agree. Now, the spit face here, the producer changed it up this year with this option, so it's a little bit tricky now. You have to agree. The Texans will defeat the Patriots. 50,000 for the win, minus 50,000 points for the loss. So the question is first, do you want to take the option? Or if you take the option, you have to agree with the statement. So I'm going to start with you, Noah Archangel. Do you agree that Texans will defeat? So you do not want the option, okay?
No, I love my team, but no. If I had money on it, no.
Unlike Goddess Kelli, you think with your mind, you don't think with your heart. Because last week she thought with her heart with the Eagles against the Chiefs. But anyway, I'm with you. I'm not taking this option. I'm going to say no. Goddess Kelli?
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I am not taking this option.
Okay. And spit face?
I am not taking the option.
Yes, all right. Yeah, you producers went switcheroo on us this year. Before we could take the option and answer the question one way or the other. All right, so we'll see how we do with the results from this week. It's time for the outrageous predictions, where our panel gives their outrageous predictions for the week. Goddess Kelli, what's your outrageous prediction?
Dak Prescott is going to go down with an injury, and he is going to be out for 4 to 6 weeks.
Ooh. Noah Archangel?
If I have to say anything, I think maybe our quarterback for the Texans will actually have a great game against the Patriots. We just won't win.
Okay. Spit face?
President Trump will revoke his invitation for the Warriors to visit the White House. Oh no! That happened. Oh, that's right. That happened. That happened. That's right. That's right.
That already happened.
That did already happen. Okay. My outrageous prediction is that the Bears will upset the Pittsburgh Steelers.
That's outrageous. Well, my prediction is not really outrageous, but speaking of the lines of President Trump, after his outrageous statement calling the players son of a bitches that kneel for the flag, I predict that more than several players are going to be kneeling this week, including white players. So we'll see.
Nice.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that was really outrageous what he said. Rosie Perez, she's from Puerto Rico, and I happened to watch her yesterday on CNN, and she was pleading to everybody to help Puerto Rico and to help the Virgin Islands, with the unfortunate storms. They are part of the United States, and sometimes as Americans, we forget that Puerto Rico and the Virgin Island is part of the United States. And her quote is, "As an actor, you may do things that aren't politically correct. Unless you're an actor who only does things for political reasons, I believe if we don't do the good, the bad, and the ugly, we're not going to progress." So shout out to Rosie Perez for coming on national TV and pleading for help.
Sure.
And also I'd like to thank everybody for their concerns for me when I was going through Hurricane Irma. I really appreciate that. And thank you so much, Goddess Kelli, for the kind words that you said with your quote for the week. And Noah Archangel, first of all, we just like to thank you for being on the show. It is a great pleasure. We enjoyed your music. And please let us know again how fans can check you out.
First of all, also thank you. It was had a lot of fun. You can always go to the website mainly. Everything's on there: shoes, clothes, music, videos, www.bandofthehawk.com. And then, of course, social media. Just search Band of the Hawk or look for Noah Archangel. I'll pop up everywhere. And we appreciate you.
All right. We appreciate you. And come back and visit us again.
Will
Goddess
do.
Kelli. All right. Goddess Kelli, how can the listeners check out your other broadcasts?
Well, every Friday night I am live on the Red Zone with Kelli and Rashawn. We bring sexy back to sports. We also add in a dash of politics and some pop culture. We are live. We are unscripted, uncensored, and unfiltered. So be sure to check that out. If you can't listen to me live, you can always check me out on demand, either at blogtalkradio.com/momentumshift or on my sponsor website, goingfor2.com/momentumshift. You can find me on social media at my name, which is KELLIERUTTAR. You can find me on Twitter or Facebook at The Red Zone Live, and again, that is on Twitter and Facebook, so check us out. Like I said, we're bringing sexy back to sports.
All right, bringing sexy back to sports. And you can also check me out on Twitter at Cheryl Smith, at First Lady of Sports. All right, please enjoy the poetic performance at the end of the show. This has been Cheryl Smith with Goddess Kelli and Spitface and our very, very special guest, Noah Archangel. And we miss you so much, CJ. You have been listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports.
Call me sport and make me laugh. Seen enough in my past to last 10 lifetimes. So I don't just survive through it. I'm living life. That's why my smile still shines so bright. Yes, I love the attention. And my body is craving for your affection. So what are you going to do? Put in work or leave me to flirt? 'Cause I can still pull them both ways. Playing with me still fun on any given day. Enjoying life. So come, sip on my forever and dine on my affinity. Are you ready for me? The sweet, warm smell of happy, leaving footprints of life-size imprints in the sands of time. Go ahead. Call me sport and make me laugh. They say that it's good for the soul. Finding joy that was meant for me. No longer wasting time on past we. Hearing pleasures whispered to me. Taking changes gracefully. Touching happiness daily. Letting go of yesterday so I can grab tomorrow with both hands. And it's good. It gets better. Greater than your wildest dreams. You know that I know you smile when you think of me. So go ahead. Call me sport and make me laugh. Release the waves of intentions. Let me walk your mountains of education. Do you see me? Feel me. Falling on the wings of satisfaction. Recalling your reaction to my smile. To my smile. Yeah. My smile. I love it when you make me laugh so hard I can't breathe, and I feel that way when you kiss me, gently but still aggressively. The truth is, you spoil me. You give me what I need, and sometimes I fiend. I want you my way. I want you my way. So go ahead. Call me sport and make me laugh, and we can still enjoy it. Why laugh?